James on this email says, afternoon chaps, particularly looking forward to Mark's review of Babel. However, would the good doctor please explain why the UK is among the last country to receive this wonderful film? According to the Internet Movie Database, only Singapore, Hungary and Japan open after us.
Yeah, well, lucky them, frankly. Shall we do it?
Well, I kind of lost interest now. I kind of know which direction this is going in. Anyway, give us some detail.
Babel, or Babel as people keep calling it, but it's the Tower of Babel, right? Not the Tower of Babel. Incredibly self-important, festival favourite. It's a winner of the Golden Globe Best Drama Award already. It's been nominated BAFTA Best Film, I think. It's got a very good chance of getting an Oscar nod on Tuesday, I believe, when you can both see and watch us.
Coverage from 1:30.
It's all happening here. Directed by Alejandro González Iñárritu, who started out brilliantly with Amores Perros, which is a really great kind of exploitation-style film. Then he got a bit full of himself with 21 Grams, and people kept saying, you're a really good filmmaker. And now he's turned into basically the filmmaking equivalent of Michael Jackson, doing this kind of platitudinous preaching with delusions of world-saving importance. What we have is a series of torturously interconnected stories taking place around the globe in which we all live because we are the world. America, Mexico, North Africa, Japan, high-profile actors such as Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett, suffering for their art and showing just how much they really care, because you know what? If something bad happens anywhere in the world, it reflects on all of us. Here's what the film says. A shot rings out in North Africa and echoes around the world. How long did that take?
About 3 seconds.
Okay, fine. The film takes about 2.5 hours to say exactly that. Whereas Amores Perros had these stories like colliding in a car crash. This has these stories running away from each other at great speed and being roped together. It's like, that phrase, it's like herding cats? Well, it's doing these stories is exactly like herding cats. How is that guy in Mexico going to tie up with the guy over there and the woman with no pants in Japan and the guy on the plane from the thing and the blah? Now, when it played in Cannes, and there was this great reverential feeling about it, it's a great world statement from Alejandro González Iñárritu. The film started playing, and there was this, hushed reverence in the audience. And I was watching it thinking... And about halfway through, the projector briefly broke down, which it has a habit of doing in Cannes, and it broke down, and there was this silence, this reverential silence in the cinema. And I turned to a very good friend of mine sitting next to me, David.
That's 2 friends you've mentioned.
No, I don't have them at the same time. I only rented Ollie, and now I am friends with David.
You need to be careful how you talk about rentable Ollie.
No. Obviously, I'm making a joke.
Yes,
for legal reasons. Okay. Anyway, and we literally almost as one said to each other, "Is it me or is this poo?" And this kind of ripple of disapproval went through the crowd. No, it's a masterpiece, c'est magnifique, how dare you, English pig dog. And then the film starts up again, and you could feel that actually there was a couple of people in the audience going, there might be some truth in that. And when it gets to the moment when you finally discover why the bit in Japan with the person with no pants is related to the person in Mexico, you can almost hear people go, no, monsieur. No, I'm not having this, fine. So, anyway, the film gets still rapturous reviews, people saying, work of art, work of genius, work of great thing. Interesting to see that by the time it finally gets to open here, after having opened all around the world, quite a number of critics have now come together and said, you know what, this is just meretricious, self-important twaddle. And I would just like to say that I hated it first. I disliked it halfway through the first screening in Cannes, so consequently I was ahead of the pack. And this is important to me because I don't want people saying, well, you're just saying that because everybody really, really liked it and now the backlash has begun. As I've said before, I was lashing before there was any back to lash at.
Okay, so you hated it first?
Yes.
Unless someone can claim that they hated it before
20 minutes into that screen. If somebody disliked it before the projector broke down.
When would this be?
Well, it was May. It was the first ever public screening. It was May of last year, wasn't it?
Okay, if you hated Babel earlier than that,
yes,
I think a small prize should be made available.
Yeah, what shall I give them?
I've got no idea. But
I'll tell you what, I've got a signed Exorcist poster going spare.
No, let's not do any more.
Okay, fine. It's just one of those things in which, the performances are all fine, but it is very, very full of itself, and it takes an awfully long time to say something that is ultimately quite fatuous. And I said the worst thing about it is the section in Japan is complete nonsense. And any editor worth their salt...
This is where the woman isn't wearing any underwear?
Yeah.
Is that explained?
No, not really. And it's just completely unnecessary, and it's a bit yucky, to be honest. But whilst you're watching the film, you kind of keep thinking, I kind of wish we were back in Japan, because at least it was stupid. I mean, the rest of this stuff is just incredibly ponderous and laborious, but any editor worth their salt would have taken that stuff out. And so the best thing about the film is a bit which is basically hasn't got any right to be there and should be in the outtakes on the DVD. Well, there we go. I mean, I really like Alejandro González Iñárritu when he was thinking of himself as an exploitation filmmaker. I think he should get back to exploitation, because honestly, this is art with a capital F, and I don't need it. I mean, I really don't need somebody saying, in the end we are all just one big, mushy pea. No, we're not. No, we're not.